Hi, this is Katie Owens with the Healthcare Experience Foundation. We're going to talk about difficult patient and family conversations in this unprecedented time of crisis that our organizations are facing. Two things we're going to talk about today. First, we are going to spend some time recognizing, normalizing, and validating this is an extraordinarily challenging situation each one of you are facing. And then we hope to offer you 5 strategies to navigate difficult patient and family conversations right now in the midst of COVID. So let's just pause and reflect how the world has changed in just the last month. Things that have gone from being a norm have all of a sudden shifted. It's like the tectonic plates, and we are off the Richter scale with the amount of change that each one of us are facing professionally, personally. And so it is okay to just pause and say, we're coming to grips with a new reality. And that means, and that's putting more and more pressure on how we are interacting with our patients and our family members because our levels of stress are off the charts. And I know for some of you, you're in this first picture right now where you have freed up capacity, you have postponed elective procedures, you might have a manageable amount of COVID or no COVIDs, and others of you, your road has crumbled. And the ways of doing things have been pushed beyond any amount of stress that you could have ever imagined. And so I hope today to provide resources for both of your situations. Because while our world looks different today and we are gowning up to protect ourselves, our families, and our patients and loved ones looks different, our mission remains the same. And so one question I would ask for you to think about is, what are some of the expectations of normal that I'm letting go today? So 5 strategies for your success with these difficult patient and family conversations right now. First, we're going to talk about understanding and being present when expectations aren't met or there's fear, anger, anxiety, hearing and acknowledging their disappointment and feelings, finding ways to display empathy when our faces are covered and when people are stressed or anxious. Our best ways of communicating empathy are our nonverbals. Apologizing and taking ownership and empowering staff to address and offer solutions. So first, let's look at understanding and being present when expectations are not met. We know, and for many of us who have worked for years to expand visitation, that we have had to change that overnight practically. And at a time when our patients' fear and stress is at an all-time high, we are not able to let their loved ones be by their side. And so I just encourage all of us to continue to find comfort and solace with becoming comfortable with the discomfort. Second, how can we hear and acknowledge their disappointment and feelings? Patients and family members need to be able to have their voice and share their concerns as best we can. And I know you're coming from different situations. We've got to provide our undivided attention, finding ways to listen attentively without interrupting, because we're really great at interrupting, let's face it. When an individual finishes, we need to check our understanding of their problem by summarizing or naming. I want to be sure I heard you correctly is a great tool, or I sense that you feel that, and being able to name their emotion or their concern. It normalizes and validates. Next, empathy and perspective taking. This is our great tool in our belt to consider how you would feel if you were in the patient's or family's shoes, gowns, slippers, or bed. When we can humanize the experience, it gives us power to help and support and nurture. And we have to recognize that different expectations exist today versus February. The role of a patient is foreign in any given circumstance, yet we know that expectations have changed in just this short amount of time. And there's unprecedented fear. There's unprecedented numbers of calls into our nursing stations right now of concern loved ones wanting updates. You're having unprecedented fear across your units. And you're having to do things like use FaceTime or help patients with FaceTime. And that's something that you weren't prepared to do a few weeks ago. And we appreciate you for that. Empathy creates an environment of caring and concern rather than confrontation, fear, and anxiety. And when we can draw on phrases like, I can only imagine how frustrating or scary this has been, or I can see why you are so upset or so disappointed. This wasn't your plan either. These all give us power right now and the ability to support. Next, when we can apologize and take ownership, a timely expression of regret is our first step of moving towards a solution and a productive conversation. An apology doesn't mean I'm wrong. It just honors and informs the person that their needs and wants are important to you and to your organization, that they matter to you. So here's 3 examples. I'm sorry you were disappointed. I apologize for this inconvenience. How can I help you? How can we make this better? And also, don't be afraid to provide an explanation of what did happen, but with a positive intent. There is a lot happening behind the curtain right now that is not visible. How can we make visible all we are doing behind the scenes with our care and compassion right now? And explaining the why. I cannot emphasize enough, when we can explain the why, it brings us towards understanding. So empowering staff to address and offer solutions. Let's equip and enable all of our team to focus on what we can do to solve a problem. Move the conversation from acknowledging the disappointment to a solution. Let's be clear on what we can and cannot do right now, and here's why. If we can't solve, let's advise on when we can get back to them. Some phrases like, what can I do for you right now? Or here's what I or we can do right now establishes some healthy boundaries. Some of our favorite go-to phrases that I'll review with you quickly. Help me understand or tell me more about it. I want to focus on the positive. I'm sorry that you feel this. What can we do now? Here's what I need from you. Maybe it's to keep us safe, to keep everyone else safe, to care for them the best. This is what I'm comfortable or uncomfortable with. It's important that our patient and family safety that it feels like I may need to call my leader. I'm sorry, I know that this must be hard and that you want to be with your loved one. Or on the counter side, I'm sorry, I know this must be scary and you want your loved one with you right now. And I just encourage all of us, despite all of our different situations, our stress at work, our stress at home, our stress with our patients and families, let us just remind ourselves, in the words of Plato, to be kind. For everyone, and especially now, everyone you meet is fighting a ridiculously hard battle. Thank you for your service. Thank you for the kind, compassion, and love that you're showing to each other, to our patients, and to our communities right now.